Good morning, friends. Today we will study injuries of the upper limb. Our learning objectives will be to study the applied anatomy, their anatomical course, their motor function, cutaneous innervations, and clinical correlation of damage to the nerves. Upper limb has basically three nerves: radial, median, and ulnar nerve. Today we will study in part 1 radial nerve. Starting with anatomy, radial nerve is the largest branch of the brachial plexus. It arises from as direct continuation of posterior cord of brachial plexus. Here it is. It has root value of C5 to T1. It is a mixed nerve. Course of radial nerve in the arm. In axilla, radial nerve lies anterior to subscapularis, teres major and latissimus dorsi. Here it gives sensory supply to posterior part of the arm. It leaves axilla via triangular space. Here it is, and gives motor supply to long end of triceps. It then comes to lie along spiral groove on the posterior aspect of humerus shaft along with profunda brachii artery. It gives motor supply to medial and lateral head of triceps and sensory supply to posterior part of the forearm and lower lateral part of arm. Radial nerve then leaves the spiral groove by piercing the lateral intermuscular septum to enter the anterior compartment approximately 10 to 12 cm above the lateral epicondyle. It gives motor supply to brachialis, lateral part, brachioradialis, and extensor carpi radialis longus. Anterior to lateral epicondyle, radial nerve divides into its terminal branches, posterior interosseous nerve and dorsal or superficial radial nerve. Posterior interosseous nerve reaches the back of the forearm by passing between two heads of the supinator, superficial and deep, to supply the extensor compartment muscles, which are supinator, extensor carpi radialis brevis, extensor carpi ulnaris, EDC, EDN, extensor pollicis, extensor indicis, adductor pollicis, extensor pollicis longus, and extensor pollicis brevis. Course of radial nerve in the forearm. Radial, dorsal or superficial radial nerve courses through the forearm immediately due to brachioradialis. It emerges between tendons of brachioradialis and extensor carpi radialis longus at 8 cm proximal to radiostyloid to become subcutaneous. It crosses the anatomical snuff box between extensor pollicis brevis and extensor pollicis longus, dividing into multiple branches to supply sensation to the hand. Diagnosis of the injury, starting with history, mechanism of injury, whether it is sharp penetrating or blunt, site of injury, timing of injury with loss of motor and sensory function, presence or absence of pain, its recovery when the presentation is late. Lesion of radial nerve can be at various levels, like level 1 in the axilla, level 2 in the spiral groove, level 3 at the elbow level, level 4 at forearm level. In the axilla, it involves the posterior cord, or these are high axillary ligaments. Etiology can be use of crutches or shoulder dislocation. Presentation: hand hands in flexion with the wrist drop. Wasting of dorsal arm, that is triceps, and muscle mass on the posterior surface of the forearm. Patient will have paresthesias and sensory loss on the entire extensor surface of the arm and forearm, and on the back of the hand and dorsum of first four fingers. Injury to radial nerve in the spiral groove. Etiology can be humeral fractures, compressive lesions, Saturday night palsy, or entrapment by tendinous arch of the lateral head of triceps, or damage after severe arm exercise. Soldiers can develop these palsies at a lateral border of humerus after military shooting training. Patient will have sensation on the extensor aspect of the arm as these are supplied at a higher level. Sensation on the extensor aspect of the forearm may or may not be spared. Patient will have wrist drop, but elbow extension will be spared as triceps is supplied at a higher level, which causes elbow extension. Mode of injuries: at elbow level, patient may have radial tunnel syndrome because of involvement of the posterior interosseous nerve. There can be constricting band at the radiohumeral joint capsule. Patient may have injury because of lacerations, gunshot wounds, close injuries like fracture of proximal radius, chronic repeated trauma related to stressful supination and pronation like seen in swimmers, frisbee players, tennis players, or violin players. Here the position of the limb, patient will have atrophy and paresis of extensor muscles. Extensor carpi radialis will be spared as it is supplied at a higher level. There will be difficulty in extending the fingers at MCP levels. Patient will have partial wrist drop as extensor carpi radialis longus is spared but brevis is involved. So wrist extension will be weak. There will not be any sensory loss. The wrist deviates when the patient makes a fist. Chiralgia prosthetica. In this condition, the superficial cutaneous branch of the radial nerve, which is a purely sensory nerve, it affects the radial part of the dorsum of the hand and dorsal aspect of first three fingers. Reason can be crushing or twisting injuries of the wrist or forearm, like seen in patient with handcuffs, or patient may have wristwatch neuropathy. Patient may have this injury because of repetitive pronation and supination. Here you can see sensory supply of various nerves. This is radial nerve supply area. How to test these nerves? Commonly used tools are NCS, that is nerve conduction study, or EMG, electromyography. This testing should be done 3 to 6 weeks after injury. Nerve conduction studies, or NCS, two electrodes are placed along the course of the nerve. The first electrode stimulates the nerve to fire, and the second electrode records the generated action potential. Amplitude represents the size of the response proportion to the number of depolarizing axons in the nerve. Latency is the delay in the response following stimulation. SNAP, or sensory nerve action potential, It is the response recorded when the recording electrode are placed proximally along the sensory nerve towards the spinal cord. Compound motor action potential or CMAP, response obtained when the recording electrode is placed distally to the target muscle. EMG or electromyography, insertional activity, activity observed when the needle electrode is inserted in the muscle. Fibrillation potentials or fasciculation, not seen in normal muscles. Motor unit potential or MUP, generated by the muscle during a voluntary contraction. It evaluates the integrity of the nerve muscle junction. Timing of the surgery of the nerve repair. Primary nerve repair gives best results when seen in motor sensory recovery. It is indicated in clean sharp nerve injuries and should be carried out in first 6 to 8 hours. Secondary nerve repair is preferable in crush injuries, avulsion injuries, where the patient's life is seriously endangered, or and it is done at a delay of 3 to 6 weeks. Patient may have permanent damage to the nerve. Here, the remedy is tendon transfer. Best combination of tendon transfer for radial nerve palsy are FCR transfer, superficialis tender FDS transfer, or FCU transfer. All the three transfers use the pronator teres to ECRB transfer to restore wrist extension, but vary in the transfers used to restore finger and thumb extension. The FCR transfer involves FCR to EDC transfer to restore finger extension and palmaris longus to EPL transfer to restore thumb extension. FCU transfer is identical except that FCU is used to power the EDC instead of flexor carpi radialis. To summarize, radial nerve arises from the posterior cord of the brachial plexus. It passes posterior to axillary artery between the long and medial head of tricep muscles to lie in the interval between medial and lateral head of tricep. Here it is accompanied by profunda brachii artery before it pierces the later intermuscular septum in the lower third of the humerus to run between brachialis and brachioradialis. At the lateral epicondyle of humerus, it gives rise to posterior interosseous nerve and superficial radial nerve. Radial nerve supplies all the extensor muscles of the arm and forearm, and however it also supplies brachioradialis, which is flexor of elbow when forearm is pronated. Damage to the nerve in the spiral groove causes wrist drop, but elbow extension is spared, as fibers of triceps are supplied proximal to this lesion. Only damage in the axilla will cause loss of elbow extension and wrist drop, also known as very high injury. Damage to posterior interosseous or pin does not cause wrist drop because extensor carpi radialis longus receive its innervation from the main radial nerve higher up. Posterior nerve injury only causes inability to extend thumb and fingers. Thank you.